So I get to make another rambly video. This one, universal basic income in Canada. We do have a bill tabled, S223 I believe it is. Someone in the Senate tabled a bill, a proposal to look into universal basic income. And I think a backbencher from one or other side of the Uniparty, the coalition, I don't know if it was a Liberal or an NDP, might have been NDP. Anyways, I think they have a bill tabled as well too. So June 20th today, so it'll be a year and a quarter before we're going to have an election, if we're going to have one in Canada, because the supply and confidence agreement assures that we're not going to have one until Trudeau says it's okay for us to have one. Yeah, well, in a year and a quarter from now, most Canadians' financial position will have gone from dire to desperate, unless there's drastic change, which I don't see happening, like an election. So, universal basic income. I think Trudeau's going to hold that one out, and people will be desperate enough to consider it. I mean, at face value, say, hey, everybody gets $2,000 a month. Hey, I could benefit from $2,000 a month right now. That sounds good. We needn't get into the problem of how do you fund it? Where's the money come from? We're broke already. Now we're just going to give everybody, 40 million. Well, there'll be 44 million people by then or so. $2,000 a month. Crank up the printing presses, I guess. Inflation, devaluation of our dollar. Let's say it happened. Well, in the first 6 months, that $2,000 would help out a desperate fella. But what's it going to be worth in a year? Like maybe $500? It may be pretty well down to nothing. Certainly after 2 years, it would be inflation and tax. It doesn't work. Who has universal basic income in the world right now? Nobody. Nobody. People will go, oh, Finland. No, they're a welfare state. They pay like 80% in taxes, and like post-secondary education's free for the citizens, and they have a functioning healthcare system, and so on and so forth. They don't have anything resembling universal basic income. They have a welfare system, but there's no universal basic income. When you mention UBI, you hear names mentioned like Kenya's messing around with something right now. Is it Iran or Iraq? They're doing something. Did or is Saudi Arabia dabbling in something? But nobody has true universal basic income. The closest even to be considered would be Brazil, where the most desperately impoverished, I think the bottom 25% of the population gets a stipend. Enough to buy some tapioca. They'll find you starved to death with a belly full of that stuff, right? It's not universal basic income. Now, the people who tout universal basic income as the solve-all, be-all, end-all, they'll cite studies where, the people reported they were happier. Sure they were. They got free money. They were healthier. They less hospital visits and less crime, and they'll tout all this stuff. Well, there's been a host of places. I think we've tried it here in Ontario twice. I think we've tried a little universal basic income pilot projects, and the recipient said, yeah, I was happy to get that dough. You bet I was. Yeah, I was happier when it was coming in. And a little test project doesn't affect the entire economy. There's no repercussions to the economy. California's tried it. Pretty near everybody's run a test pilot at some point in time in their country on UBI. And yeah, every time the recipients say, yeah, I was happier and healthier. And yet no one has ever had a universal basic income system. Because again, bottom line, if nothing else, where does the money come from? But mark my words, that'll be a bone or carrot that Trudeau will dangle, oh, probably about a year from now. And don't think it won't come with digital ID and a social credit scoring system. How can it not?